Now for a little fun to end our Friday night. As spy tricks go, the honey trap is as old as time. The beautiful seductress targets Mr. Unsuspecting overweight engineer or overweight colonel. It's straight out of a movie, but it's actually happening now to Silicon Valley executives. These guys just don't know their stuff like James Bond did. The Times reports that female spies are waging sex warfare to steal Silicon Valley secrets. They go on to say China and Russia are sending attractive women to seduce tech workers, even marrying and having children with their targets. It's the Wild West out there, says one insider. They're not just targeting America's latest fighter jets or military plans anymore. They're after our most innovative tech. With us now, former CIA Operations Officer Lindsay Moran. Lindsay, welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I guess it's straight out of a movie, but it's also what the Russians and Chinese do.
Absolutely, it's what they do. And it's not new. They've been doing it for quite a while. It's a little bit easier for them now thanks to social media and platforms like LinkedIn, which are target-rich environments for the Russian and Chinese.
Okay, so no longer do they have to get into the country and try to figure out who people are. They just go on the internet.
Yeah, the kind of intel that used to take someone like me, who was an ops officer, months or even years to gather on a target. Now people put that out on Front Street, you know, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, but LinkedIn in particular.
What kind of information?
Any information. I mean, information about their professional capabilities. Think about the stuff that you put on LinkedIn. You put on stuff that you want to look impressive.
If you think about what they're going after, right? Tesla self-driving software, Amazon Web Services, the data, NVIDIA chips designs, Meta user-based information, so everything on Facebook, everything on Instagram, vaccine drug formulas, all of this kind of stuff. Basically, what you're saying is it's now really easy to figure out who has access to that.
It's easy to figure out who has access, and it's also pretty easy to figure out who are the people who exhibit the kind of vulnerabilities and motivations that might make them targets for recruitment. You know, people put on social media whether they're married, people are on dating apps. The Chinese and the Russians are mining all of these social media platforms and all of these professional platforms for people with access to information that they want, and they want everything.
So what makes it so different about going after a Tesla engineer or a NVIDIA chips engineer versus going after the person designing the next stealth bomber?
Right. Well, people who are involved in the defense industry and intel industry generally have extensive training on how to look out for counterintelligence threats and how to recognize if you're being targeted. These Silicon Valley guys do not. You know, a lot of times they're arrogant, bright, tech entrepreneurs.
With a lot of money.
With a lot of money, sometimes not equipped with, you know, all of the social skills that...
Well, Elon Musk put out there, right? He retweeted this headline, which I thought was a fascinating article. If she's a 10, you're an asset.
I saw that. And, you know, very rarely do I go to Elon Musk for words of wisdom, but that really resonated with me. He's right. And it's just astounding how this trick of tradecraft, really, you know, the honey trap, and it doesn't always have to be consummated. It doesn't have to be sex for secrets. A lot of times it's just a female operative using the skills of manipulation, figuring out what are someone's vulnerabilities and playing upon those, you know, flattering a man, playing upon his ego, making him feel important.
That would never work with me.
You'd be surprised. It's astounding to me how effective those skills and that tactic is. And the interesting thing is, we have not only is Silicon Valley a target-rich environment because of the kind of information they have and because of the kind of personalities who work there, but also there's a generational and cultural difference there. That is, you know, Americans, we're collaborative. We share information. We can be very naive. Russians and Chinese have a different relationship with the state, and they are willing to do things, you know.
Yeah, big picture, though. Is America naive right now? Are we sort of a little too Pollyanna about these kinds of threats? Living, you know, we sort of are living our best lives here?
Well, it's not necessarily a naivete, but I would say Americans, and particularly this Silicon Valley set, are very easily manipulated in some ways, which is surprising because these are not stupid people. But, you know, these are not honeypots out of central casting. They're very sophisticated. And, you know, they don't show up and, you know, hello, I'm here, I'll give you sex for information. It's a very...
Well, they're having people's kids. It is the ultimate long game.
Well, that's the thing. And that's something that I think Americans, we are culturally... we're not prepared to do that kind of thing. I mean, this is like straight out of the Americans. Russians and Chinese, they are, you know, they will give up their lives in service of it.
Absolutely one of my favorite shows. So,
great show.
Lindsay, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. At Leland Vittert on social media. You can also reply to War Notes. We read them all.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.